Hi, it's Simone Stewart from Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. This program is aired on the Mercy and Truth Network. We go live on Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. your time. And on Mondays, we have our repeat at 3 p.m. local time or 4 p.m. within the environment. Hi everyone, welcome to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Indeed, it's a program for women, about women, and by a woman. This is where we talk about the tragedies and challenges and struggles that our women go through. And of course, we talk about the triumphs, the victories. Yes, this is the place where women with their unique stories, they come and they share it. So, what have you been up to? Guys, I'm so excited. I had a birthday last week. If you haven't gotten a chance to wish me happy birthday, of course you can go on my social pages. Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And if you have not yet subscribed, it's about time you do so. This program, of course, it comes on Mercy and Truth, the Mercy and Truth Network for sure. Well, guys, enough about me. I want to tell you about my guest today, Sheena Hanson. Sheena, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate
So good to have you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, Sheena has a very, very interesting, unique story. And by now, you should have gotten used to the fact that the ladies we bring here, their story will leave you wanting to cringe. But at the same time, you just want to worship because of God's amazing grace. So Sheena is going to share with us about her life as a lesbian and even being engaged to being married to a woman. But somewhere along the line, the Lord drew her, like the woman at the well. And so Sheena, welcome again.
Thank you.
Girl, this is all about you.
Yes.
But I want you to, there are a lot of persons who are tuning in and they're saying, Sheena. I'm sure there's some persons from your past, but we want to take it from grassroots.
Right.
Where are you from?
I am from Spanish Town, Elton Park. That's where I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Spanish Town, Elton Park.
Okay. Where did you go to school?
I went to Elton Park Primary School and then I went to Queens High School in Kingston.
So I guess it's hail to the Queens.
Right. Right.
Well, Sheena, we want to just dig in because I'm sure a lot of persons wanting those who know you but they don't know the story behind it that you talk about being a lesbian for a long time.
Yes.
But how did that all start? Because persons like to say, "Oh, I was born this way," and that kind of thing. But there are persons, of course, who don't subscribe to that. But share with us your journey. What really happened? What started happening in the early days?
Well, this is what happened. As a child, I was exposed to sexual immorality. Yeah. As a result of that, I attracted a lot of different spirits. I was molested at the age of 7 to 11 by two older persons, 19 and 22. Being left by my mom, I had to go to work. She was leaving me with family. So it was my family that molested me.
Wow.
So as a result of that, I attracted a lot of different spirits and so forth. And what I was supposed to be afraid of, I started to go back to it, wanting to know what's next. They started to, allow me to watch porn and so forth. They started teaching me sexual stuff. And from there, I started to be addicted as a child to the next step. And then from that again, I started now to play around with my cousins that are girls. So, parents wouldn't watch cousins as girls playing in a room. So we started to do those type of stuff. So it was in from a child. Right. And then I started to go high school, Queens, and it's an all-girls school. So by grade 8, I was like, whoa, everybody was doing it.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, I already know about it because I was doing it as a child.
Right.
But I started, I was excited. I wanted to know what everybody's so excited about. So by grade 8, I got into it, but I was bisexual. I wanted to talk to boys and I wanted to talk to girls.
Yes.
So I was there now going through. I didn't know my identity at that time because for some reason I felt happy with a boy and then for some other reason I felt happy with a girl. So it's just young and trying to find my identity. when I left school, I met up with some people that were lesbians, and they were straight lesbian. There was no switching up to it. And as a matter of fact, I was dating men before, even when I left school, but I came upon abusive relationships. So I was abused badly, and it seems like I was abused by every man that I had spoken to. So that even more drive me to be a lesbian. So meeting up on other persons that were full blown, that were in the lifestyle, they started to introduce me to other persons that were straight, and now I'm like, this is my identity. This is where I'm happy. So I met a woman that is older than me, and now we started a relationship, live together, and I'd say that is my first real relationship.
So hold on, Sheena, because a number of persons listening, you said a lot of stuff a while ago that, you know, we take some stuff for granted. Right? We as parents, we are always thinking about the fact that we need to ensure that economically everything is in place, right? Or we have our children, and our children needs to go to school. We need to make sure the bills are paid and that kind of thing. But I find that what a mistake that a lot of parents continue to make is that we forget about the safety of our children. And we also think that we are leaving them in the hands of responsible adults, relatives. And what we've noticed, and I have found, I don't know, I need to probably look at the statistics, but statistics I'm sure will show that a lot of children who are being abused are not being abused by strangers. They're being abused by relatives, fathers, cousins, and that kind of thing. But what is probably odd in this case is that for you it was now fooling around with the girl cousins, right? And then to see that this is now following you around. Right? It's following you to high school. And I'm listening to you and I'm saying to myself, how coincidental is it that you end up in a girls' school? How coincidental is it that all the men that you started dating were abusive and that kind of thing? And you know, we just want to declare right away that the devil is a liar.
That's right.
Because what Satan tends to do is he seems to create a path that seems to be right. And it seems as if when we try to straight to do what is right, it seems like it is wrong per se. But you are now, so you've gone through high school. Right? You have done the full gamut, trying to date boys and trying to date girls. But being abused, you're now finding yourself now with somebody who's older, I'm sure, who was providing that kind of security. And you're now living with this person. Share with us, continue now, what took place hereafter?
So I was living with her now, and I was getting in the whole LGBT community. I was becoming well known now, because I was like the couple they love now in the LGBT community, because we were together for such a long time. We lived together, and it looks like a real relationship. Like it is the real life. They're happy. They're really together. It looks normal to everybody. So I was there, and until we got engaged. Not only that, I was becoming more popular in the LGBT community. Now I started to follow up pride events where I'd voluntarily work with Jake Flag. You know, I was really looking for my identity, and actually I thought that was me.
So let me ask you something, because I'm sure maybe somebody there asking. Anywhere in there, Sheena, did you at any time felt this is wrong? Did you feel uncomfortable? Anything at any point in time there? Did it feel different? And you felt like,
Yes, I did feel different. You know why? Because my mom was she was ashamed, she was embarrassed about the lifestyle, because she didn't raise that way. She wasn't raised that way, and she didn't raise me to be that way. So she was very ashamed of it. That was something that was hard for her to accept. She didn't accept it any at all. Even though she watched me do my thing, it's like she always say, I'm praying. I remember one day she was crying, and she hold on to me and said, Sheena, you're gonna kill me, Sheena. Change your lifestyle. She was crying, and that kind of rocked me up so much, and I started to think, And then not only do I started to think, I started to realize I'm neither happy when I was dating a man, and I'm neither happy in this. After a while, the glamour, the party, the clothes and everything, I was just not happy. But not only that, the abuse followed me into lesbianity because the woman was abusive also.
My God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Today we're doing an intense episode of Uniquely Me. I have Sheena Hansen on set with me, talking about her life as a lesbian and of course trying to find her identity. But here she is. It started from a child into her teenage years, now into adulthood, and of course we're learning that abuse has been following her. So talk about the abuse. What was taking place?
When I talk about to talk about the abuse, there's a thing that I know for a fact following each generation. My mommy was abused by my dad, and my mom was abused by her dad. So I came back in that generational cycle, and I was abused both by men and women. So the person that I was engaged to wasn't the first person, because I tried to date other girls before I took one serious, and it was still abusive. So abuse followed me around. Right.
Yeah. My God.
Yes.
So you volunteered to work with J Flag.
Yeah, meaning like if they're keeping an event, I'll be there, I'll help in organizing. I wanted to be a part of everything because I was saying equality, this is right, this is me, this is what I want to love, this is how I was comfortable. So I said, all right, whatever it is, I would be by their side right through, go to every event, I supported them, everything. Voluntarily, wasn't by force. I did this.
Right. It is being said that you hosted one of the biggest gay parties in Kingston.
Yes.
Is that so?
That's right. Every year I'll keep a big all-white party for the gays. So it's lesbian, gays, transgender, and I have pictures to show. It was a big all-white party. Now the gays would love me because I was a fashionista, and they love that type of excitement and the trend and so forth. So I get all of them to support me, and I treat them nice. And even as I'm changed, my wish for them is for them to change. I don't want to judge them or condemn them,
right?
Because I know it's a process. I know what takes place in the spiritual realm.
Right. Now you talk about your mom a while ago, and most times what we find is that family members tend to push off, reject those members of the family who has basically gone over into homosexuality per se. What was it like talk with us a little about mommy, how mommy responded. Mommy is a Christian for starters.
Yes.
How did mommy respond? Or as a matter of fact, back up. When did you disclose this to your mom?
I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want to tell her, but I remember when I realized that I was really going into a serious relationship with a woman. I said, Mommy, this is how I feel. This is what I want to do. And she was like, what? She went crazy. She was so upset. She was mad. She was crying. Her emotions went so wild. And it hurt me, but I'm saying, well, Mommy, I'm an adult now. I can do what I want to do. And she never accepted it. And I remember even when I was dating the woman, she would have called the woman and said, leave my daughter alone. Leave my daughter alone. I didn't raise her like that. And it never stopped.
Right.
It still never stopped.
So it's a matter that it was a choice that you were making.
Yes.
You see, because again, start coming back to my initial statement that persons tend to say I was born like that.
Yes.
But in your case, it's not a case of being born like that. It's a case of circumstances.
Yes.
And then you had a choice as it relates to do you continue,
right,
or do you try to make a clean
right,
break. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing it live here on Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Sheena Hansen sharing her story of being a lesbian for years. But that wasn't something she was born with. It's more something that took a hold of her, and she'll tell you of making a choice right? And being in it and being abused. When we come back, we're going to learn about, what her mom did and how she got out of this lifestyle. Because this woman no longer practices being a lesbian, but now she says, come, meet a man. His name is Jesus. We'll be right back.
Who am I really? Choices, choices, choices. In pursuit of a career? OMG, I'm a wife. Help! I am a mother. Oh, I'm in church. When do I get to be a woman that God called me to be? Uniquely Me covers the acrobatic endeavors of every woman to balance the responsibilities of being a mother, a wife, a professional, a church leader, a friend, yet still maintain her identity. I too am a mother, a wife, a trained minister of religion, a banker, an entrepreneur trying to balance the many hats that signifies my role. My book will help motivate and empower every woman who is really unique in her own way. Grab your copy today on Amazon, because Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Welcome back to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. On set, I have Sheena Hanson, former lesbian, used to keep one of the biggest all-white gay parties here in Jamaica. But now this woman, well, I'm going to let her tell you what is now happening with her. So Sheena, mommy kept praying.
Yes, definitely.
And would you say it was the prayers of mama?
Yes, she really prayed. Mm-hmm. She really prayed.
But I want to, before we even get there, I want you to tell us, what was that turning point? What happened to create that instant change, a turn?
You know how they say no man comes to God unless he pulls them? Mm-hmm. I felt the pulling. I felt like nothing was going right. Mm-hmm. It's like, this wasn't how I'm supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Like God literally pulled me, because if I could say, all right, this happened and this happened, my pulling was a process. Mm-hmm. No, when I'm going to church, I had an encounter with the Lord. Mm-hmm. I had an encounter for real. I was in church and there was a song that was playing in church. I remember that day. Mm-hmm. And as the song was playing, it's like God was ministering. It's like, Jesus is my friend. It was telling Jesus is my friend, and whatever it is, God is calling. And I was in church that day and I cried so. And the worst scenario is that it was a gay man that invited me to the church.
Oh dear Lord. So let us just interject here. You're telling me that there are gay people in church?
Yes, of course. They believe they have the right to serve God, and everybody does have the right to serve
right,
God.
That's true. That's true. All right. So continue. So you came, there was a song playing and
I couldn't stop. I was convicted right there. Mm-hmm. I remember I was even in parties, and for some reason they started to play a gospel song, and I had to step outside the party and tears was flooding my eyes, and I heard a voice said, Sheena, this is not where you're supposed to be. Yeah. Sheena, this is not where you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I started crying. I was looking around me like, who is talking to me? Mm-hmm. And I said, Sheena, this is not where you're supposed to be. But I always heard that those type of voices. I even went to my bed and I was dreaming of judgment. Wow. And every time I was running towards heaven gate, my slippers would drop off. Mm-hmm. And I turned back to get my slippers. Mm-hmm. And a man said to me, while everybody running to heaven gate, you're really going to turn back. Get ready.
Wow.
Get ready. So there was a lot of calling there. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of experience in dreams and voices in my head like, Sheena, this is not your, come, get ready. Mm-hmm. So it's like that. I went to church and I was convicted on that day. Yeah. And I went home and the devil told me, what are you doing at church?
Yeah.
You messed up already, just leave. Mm-hmm. You messed up, and I actually believed him. Yeah. Because I was stuck in a box, I was stuck in a corner saying, well, I already messed up. What I'm going to do, I have to stay in this type of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But mercy said no, because God showed up again. Yes. And I started to go to church and I started to be in the word. Mm-hmm. And the word resonated. And I must commend my spiritual father, which is Bishop R.J. Edwards.
Wow. Yes. Like, that's Lighthouse Assembly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He did hold a big part in my transformation, because you know what happened? Mm-hmm. I had the pull to tell him whatever was going on. I texted him. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how he would have,
Yes.
But I texted him. I said, Bishop R.J. Edwards, I'm a lesbian. I really want to change. I feel like God is calling me to change. I don't know the first step. I'm a lesbian. I don't know if you're going to accept me. I don't know what you're going to do, but I really need help. And he was like, oh my God, I'm willing to help you. Meet with me, and so forth. And that's how he started to talking to me, but he didn't force me.
Yes.
I was not forced to become a Christian. I was going to church.
Yes.
And at one point, I was going to every altar call. Until a lady said to me, you're here every altar call.
Yes.
When are you going to be ready? And I said, soon.
Do you think you kept going to the altar calls because conviction, no, not conviction, but condemnation sort of kept you? How, in other words, you would go and you know that yes, you'd accepted the Lord, but is it that you would come back? You would go back to the lifestyle, come back to church? Is that what was happening?
That's what happened. I'm a party promoter. Not only did I keep all white, but I was keeping other gay parties. So I was at a party every Saturday. Sometimes I was even doing a gay round robin.
My God.
So I had to be on the streets all the time within the gay community. So every time I'd be at a party, I come back Saturday morning, and I'll go to church Sunday morning. Right, so Saturday night, come to church Sunday morning.
Yes.
And I was just from the party to church. But my struggle was, oh, I was going to give up the crown. I am the queen. They love me. I'm the hypest thing. I'm the hottest girl around in the LGBT community. How am I going to give up that lifestyle? How am I going to give up my party? Everybody is looking forward to all white per year. So how am I going to give up? That was when I was struggling. But I made a sacrifice.
Yes.
I made a sacrifice. I started to decide in my mind. I started to drop off first thing. I started to listen, going to parties. And when my friend would say, you're not coming, I'm saying, well, I'm feeling a change. I want to change. I'm going to church and I want to change. And they're saying, you're serious? Because they don't tell me serious because I'm the party girl. And me say every pan knock, So they didn't take me serious.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing it firsthand today. Sheena Hansen, queen of the lesbians here in Kingston, Jamaica. All-white party. Talk about gay all-white party. Who is hosting it? Who will be there? Who will be the queen? Sheena. But she's sharing with us that she felt the pull. And so, of course, the struggles. How am I going to let go of the crown?
Yes.
And at the same time, hold on to the cross, because that seemed to be what was taking place with you.
That's right.
But eventually, was there anybody in that community, though, Sheena, that said to you, well, two side. Was there anybody that said, my girl, what kind of foolishness you do? Right? For those who don't know what I just said, what are you doing? Or was there anybody who said, my girl, go on?
Yes. Well, you have a few persons that would say it's a good move, but you have some persons that say you make society trick you and manipulate you, and what kind of madness you church? You really?
Yeah.
So I was discouraged. I remember telling an older lady that, I wanted to get baptized, and she was like, you're mad? Yeah, young girl, when I get baptized, but want to live your life.
My God.
And I said, if I'm going to get baptized, I'm not going to tell nobody. I didn't even tell my mommy. I didn't even tell her.
So that day came when you decided that you're going to surrender your heart to the Lord. But it wasn't. Talk with us first before I go with my next question. What was that day like?
Well,
when you decide full surrender.
Yeah. Wow. Well, on that day, the Sunday, I remember, like I said, the Saturday, it's begin the week, like the Monday. I said, Sunday, I'm getting baptized. But I'm not telling anybody because I don't want to be discouraged. And it's like, I'm pushing and I'm going and I'm preparing myself, but I don't know how I'm doing it. Because if it's me, oh no, we can't stop the party. We can't stop the certain things. But the pulling, I was preparing my mental state for just that Sunday. I was like, well, I'm not going to give up on that. Well, I'm not going to watch God. Well, God saying got me, so I'm going to watch what God going to do. So I was there. I remember the Saturday, I couldn't sleep. I was anxious for Sunday morning to come. I was so anxious for Sunday morning to come. I had a lot of bad dreams. I remember sleeping and I saw a lot of markage on my face. The enemy was trying so hard to discourage me.
Wow.
And then I remember I wake up and I say, I don't care what you try, Satan. I am getting baptized tomorrow, and there's nothing that's gonna stop me. I remember the Sunday there's 2 services. I went to the first service and there was no pool set up. And I'm saying, the devil started to say, see, you're not supposed to get baptized today. I said, no, today I'm getting baptized. I stayed at the first service and I was so disappointed, like, why the pool wasn't set up? Why the pool was on? I was there, and I decided that when the first service was over, I'd go up to a minister and ask him and tell them per se that I was supposed to get baptized this Sunday and I don't see any pool. And I went up to her and I said, Joseph, and she said, you want to get baptized? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, come to second service. When I went to second service, I never hesitated. They said, change your clothes. And I got changed. I was so excited to give my life to God.
Yeah, my God. So you've surrendered your life to the Lord.
Yes.
But how has that walk been?
It's no easy walk, but I trust God.
Yeah.
I've been through some warfare because the family demons and where I'm coming from, they didn't want to let me go.
Right.
And it's been a struggle till now, but God has been faithful.
Yeah.
I can totally say that.
The at any point in time though, since how long ago was that, by the way?
A year.
Bless God.
Yes.
But has there been any point in there that you felt like you go back?
Yes, in the beginning,
Yeah.
but let me tell you something. I made a vow to God, and I learned that it's better not to vow.
Yes.
Because when you vow, you must pay. No, I made a vow to God. I said, God, I'm not going back to that lifestyle. I promise you.
Yes.
Not only that, I said, God, I'm going to remain celibate until I'm married. No sex before marriage.
Yes.
I made those 2 vows to God. I lifted up my hands. I did it in my church. And I said, I'm challenging myself.
Yeah.
So I challenged myself to, and I made the vow.
Yeah.
Knowing that God is faithful. It has not been easy.
Yeah.
Because of the vow, the enemy tried to attack me in those areas.
Right.
So the vow, no, it hasn't been easy. As I said, I'm attacked. Pastors try to manipulate me sexually, and ministers in church try to manipulate me sexually, but I kept on because of the promise I made to God.
It's Sheena, I'm happy that you're saying that, because we have this vision, this image of church, which really it ought to be a haven. But we're finding that a number of persons will come in with their past, and instead, yes, the Lord has forgiven them, but we tend to want to keep them in bondage. So you're saying that there are pastors who are now trying to manipulate you sexually simply because they knew of your past.
Right.
My God. A question I want to ask. Was there anyone, based on the fact that you are a lesbian, would you say, was there any that was coming from that end?
Repeat, sir.
So it's a deep question, right? It's a very deep question, and I know persons might come at me for this one, but in the pastoral, the female pastoral, did you find any coming at you from that angle?
No, I had a woman who spoke to me in an, I didn't like the comport how she spoke to me. It was really a sexual way, but I guess she caught herself, and I don't have an experience with female.
Woman of God, I'm definitely going to be bringing you back, because we want to go into not to go into your life anymore, but for us to dig into some stuff and minister to some people.
Right.
Now, I know time is running out, but I need you to take 1 minute,
Yes.
quick 1 minute, and just talk to somebody out there who's struggling, right? They're struggling with their sexuality. They're struggling with their identity. I need you to talk to somebody. We have less than a minute. Just talk to somebody.
Let me just encourage you. Come see a man. That's what I did. I read the word. The word resonated in my spirit. The word is the truth, and Jesus says, I declare that Jesus Christ is Lord and is faithful. I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was heading. But there's a road that seems right to us, but the end thereof is destruction and death. Don't let that be your portion, because God is good. He did it for me. He can do it for you. God is an awesome God. I'm young and I'm sold out for Jesus. Jesus Christ is Lord. I love him. I love him, and the same encounter I have, I'd like you to have it. I'm young people for Jesus. I declare that, and I'm here to stand stand and ensure that I can win any amount of young souls I can, because Jesus Christ is Lord and He's coming back.
Again, thank you, woman of God. My God. Thank you again for tuning in. Another episode of Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, if you have a story you want to have it heard, reach me 876-856-5769 or my social pages. They're going across the page. Remember, Uniquely Me is uniquely you. Thank you.
Amen.